In this world, there exist countries whose inhabitants' lifestyles intrigue and amaze us in countless ways. Imagine a land where, in a single day, one could swim in 2 different oceans. A place where the people, though perhaps initially shy, are remarkably happy and easily embarrassed upon meeting a stranger. It's a country where folks live simply with their families, finding joy in life's small pleasures. Picture a nation where, if you emigrate there from abroad, you pay not a single United States dollar in income tax. Every cent you earn stays in your pocket. For this reason, it could be called a tax haven for those conducting online businesses. This is Panama, a country you might have heard of thanks to the Panama Canal. You may have heard of Panama in one way or another, but the details of daily life there remain relatively unknown to many. It's a nation of concrete, sand, ships, and, let's say, remarkably low taxes. This Central American country boasts a landscape of towering concrete buildings. Massive cargo ships traverse its narrow canal, generating significant revenue for Panama, while the population enjoys the benefits of low taxation. With an area of 75,000 square kilometers, Panama's population numbers only 4.5 million people. Occupying the 117th position globally in terms of land area, it ranks 130th in terms of population size. Its capital city, Panama City, is centrally located. To the north, the country borders the Caribbean Sea, while the Pacific Ocean graces its southern shores. Its land neighbors are Costa Rica to the west and Colombia to the east. At one point, Panama was even united with Colombia, but in 1903, with the backing of the United States, it declared its independence. That was the flag of Panama after its independence, rectangles divided into 4 parts and 2 stars of different colors. Their flag is truly striking and beautiful to behold. The country is most famous, of course, for its renowned Panama Canal. This waterway connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, providing shipping companies with a convenient passage. Naturally, this opens the floodgates to millions of dollars flowing into the Panamanian treasury. The Panama Canal is a remarkably significant location, statistically representing the narrowest passage on the world map. Undeniably, it's one of the world's greatest man-made structures. A fascinating fact related to this is that Panama is the only country in the world where the sun rises over the Pacific Ocean and sets over the Atlantic. Observing the challenges ships face navigating the canal vividly illustrates the narrowness of this passage, which effectively divides a continent. Thanks to the ships traversing this slender waterway, Panama reportedly handles 15% of global trade. Imagine having a narrow passage dividing continents, and through that passage, you earn significant wealth from trade. The phone in your hand, the computer on your desk, and countless other possessions likely arrived via ships passing through this very canal. This is why, since 1904, various research companies have recognized Panama as the world's greatest maritime power. You've probably guessed that this power isn't derived from naval strength, but rather from the sheer volume of trade it facilitates. Panama possesses a stable economy, yet manages to attract people with its simple way of life. In a country intertwined with oceans, an abundance of fish is naturally expected. Panama is a major exporter of fish from Central America to the rest of the Americas, and fishing is a primary source of livelihood for its citizens. Fishing provides a good income in this country, so people are accustomed to waking up early. Not just the fishermen, but all of Panama starts the day very early. Unlike much of the world, people begin work at 8 o'clock in the morning, not 9. A significant number even engage in sports at 7 in the morning. Since the sun sets at 6 o'clock in the evening in this country, people are keen not to miss the sunset. Therefore, they start work an hour earlier and finish before the sun sets, allowing them to witness the sunset. Company offices in the country are typically long, slender, skyscraper-style buildings. Simultaneously, buildings designed as residential centers for the country's elite are also constructed with enormous scale. But of course, there are Panamanians who live in more modest dwellings. The country offers advantageous and attractive tax conditions for expats, allowing foreign business people coming to Panama to stay in luxurious residences. It's said that 25% of the country's 4.5 million population consists of foreigners. If expats or locals wish to buy a home, the average price of a decent apartment in Panama ranges from $180,000 to $250,000 United States dollars. It's worth noting that the country became the first Latin American nation to adopt the United States dollar as its currency. In Panama City, one can also rent very beautiful and luxurious apartments with a monthly budget of several $1,000s. The monthly rental cost of such apartments can reach $500. If you prefer to live outside the city center, a bit further out in the suburbs, you can easily find housing for under $500 per month. There are many smaller towns surrounding the capital. The most vibrant areas of the city include places like Costa del Este on the coast. A family with an income of $3,000 to $4,000 a month can rent a decent apartment in the Costa del Este area, enjoy high-status neighbors, and even play golf nearby. The average size of a 3-bedroom apartment in the capital ranges from 100 to 140 square meters. There's another interesting detail. If you venture into the wealthier neighborhoods of Panama City, you'll notice that the people there have significantly lighter skin than the local population. These light-skinned individuals are not, in fact, native Panamanians. They are people who arrived and relocated there later. Consequently, light-skinned individuals in the country are more vulnerable to robbery, as they represent a significant portion of the wealthy population. People with money are considered highly respected in the country. If a local observes that you lack money, their respect for you diminishes, and they become less likely to trust you with various matters. For instance, there's a strong club tradition in the country. Wealthy communities become members of specific clubs, which can be considered a kind of investment fund. Wealthy individuals regularly contribute substantial sums of money to these clubs. For example, joining a club might cost up to $100,000. After that, a monthly advance payment is made to ensure the club's continued operation. Over time, these clubs gain renown and prestige within the country, becoming a significant marker of reputation. The higher the status of your club, the more influential and prominent you become in Panama. On the other hand, those unfamiliar with Panama often envision a village surrounded by lush leaves and palm trees. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. Panama City, its capital, is today one of the most developed cities in South America. For instance, those who hear that a Central American country has no income tax might assume the system is unstable and that they are traveling to a rural area. They are then surprised when they see a highly urbanized and developed nation. When you look at the local people of this beautiful country, they appear like typical Central Americans. They look much like their neighbors, the Costa Ricans and Colombians. Both men and women possess dark, tanned skin. Men usually have a muscular, athletic build, and women often exhibit the curvaceous figures common among Latin Americans. The women are friendly, approachable, and welcoming. For this reason, men from Canada and the United States are very attracted to Latin American women. On the other hand, Europeans might not even consider settling in Latin American countries like Panama, often due to safety concerns. For Europeans, the issue isn't just about trust. Europe is a place where it rains even in summer, and people wear jackets due to the cooler weather. Panama, in contrast, is a place where people constantly perspire and are prone to various allergies. Additionally, Panama has many wild creatures, and Europeans are not accustomed to living among them. For example, Panama is home to 986 bird species, placing it among the top 20 countries globally in terms of bird diversity. The probability of encountering various bird species while walking down the road is quite high. For this reason, Europeans may experience allergies to these creatures. They might also be unwilling to live in a climate where they constantly sweat due to the heat. Colombian women's beauty appeals to men arriving from abroad. However, it's safe to say that Canadian men and retirees from the United States often marry young Panamanian women. People here don't get sick as often. Their bodies are more resilient to environmental factors thanks to the warm, tropical climate, and their skin is thicker. The greatest pastime for the people of Panama is undoubtedly the relationships between men and women. Both men and women are physically strong, and their hormones are working at full capacity. Furthermore, as in almost all Latin American countries, dancing and family relationships form the cornerstone of their lives. In Latin American countries like Panama, people value emotions. People here live not so much for money and careers as for family and friends. Of course, the men are happy with their women, and the women are very desirable and warm towards the men. In Latin America, only Brazil has a high divorce rate. In this sense, Brazilians may lead the world in the number of divorces. The fact that Brazil leads the world in divorces may be related to the country's large population. However, in Panama, the population is smaller, there are fewer men and women, and people are more faithful to their relationships. Therefore, if a Panamanian loses their partner, they may not be as fortunate as Brazilians, and might not be able to find a new one within the same country. In any case, I think it would be unfair to the magnificent women of Panama to be unfaithful to such beautiful and attractive women. Especially in Panama City, you will see strikingly attractive women who will simply amaze you. This is why Panamanian men work hard to make their women happy and strive to raise their children. Women are the most valuable asset and the joy of life for men. Even if a Panamanian doesn't have a car or a house, he can achieve the same happiness by simply having a wife and children. For them, happiness is not material wealth, but family. But despite this, there are still men in the country who enjoy casual sex. In Panama, there are houses for rent designed as garages for short-term relationships. For example, there are places in the country called Panama Button Motels. These places resemble garages from American movies and are built in pink. People go there not to stay, but with a single purpose: to have a sexual experience that can easily be kept secret. These garage hotels don't even have staff to prevent people from being caught cheating on their spouses. You arrive, pay $10 an hour, and the garage opens its doors to you. This, my friends, is a great pastime for the Panamanian people. Some claim that criminals hiding from the state meet or hide in these garage rooms because there's no identity check, and these rooms can be accessed with money. Thus, the culprit can hide there for a certain amount of time. If you have recently settled in Panama and do not have a partner, you can also try to satisfy your needs in a more relaxed setting. In the capital, for example, there are many places where beautiful, sexy women and muscular, strong men hang out at night. You can find dozens of cafes and nightclubs. As you know, Latin Americans are already very interested in meeting and interacting with new people. They are very friendly and smiling, which is due to their genetics and character. If you pay a little attention to your clothes, makeup, or hairstyle, you will surely attract the attention of a beautiful Panamanian lady or a solid man with money. So never be shy in a Latin American country, and be sociable with the locals. These nightclubs also feature similarly dressed dancing girls who appeal to American men with their beauty and smooth skin. While for the poorer segments of the population, this is a source of entertainment and income, wealthier and more elite people enjoy visiting casinos. Panama is a place where casinos are free, and making money in this sector is one of the goals. Therefore, if you visit Panama during the day, you may not see many people. All industries in the country tend to operate at night, while people sleep during the day. Nevertheless, Panamanians portray themselves as religious. For example, they have a famous saying: "If you ask a plumber if he can come tomorrow morning to fix my faucet, he will reply, 'Mañana si Dios quiere.' That is, tomorrow, if God wills it." In addition to this fun-filled life with wonderful people, Panamanians are also religious. At night they party like crazy, and during the day, they go to church to pray and ask forgiveness for their sins. It's interesting that a society that loves entertainment so much is also very religious. From this, we can conclude that Panamanians simultaneously value spiritual values and enjoy worldly pleasures. For instance, in this country, a person who goes to church during the day might have a drink at home that same evening. Strolling through the streets of the country, you'll see many street vendors, regardless of whether they are men or women. Many elderly people try to make a living by selling things on the streets or doing other simple work. Most likely these people are retired and are supplementing their income. Young people might work in construction, while those with some capital open shops. In this way, they strive to earn more money from long-term work, rather than daily temporary jobs. In Panama, there are also thousands of people on the streets looking for any kind of work. Given the population and size of the country, finding a job quickly is not easy. Despite this, the Panamanian government offers many benefits to retirees. Panamanian pensioners enjoy a 25% discount on land and air transport, as well as on visits to certain restaurants and museums in the country. Despite challenging economic conditions, Panamanians don't lose their enthusiasm for life. They are always full of enthusiasm, live positively, and are happy in themselves. For example, they have a saying that wars are nonsense. It's all about maneuvering. I sincerely believe that if every country had such beautiful and vibrant people, no one would worry about other problems. Panamanians truly radiate positivity. In other words, Panamanians see themselves as fighting for survival and are not afraid of difficulties. If you go to Panama, you will see that every person you meet there has a strong character and behaves like a grown-up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video for more fascinating explorations of unique cultures around the globe. Panamanians are hardworking people. They're truly adults from the age of 7 to 70 years old. While they generally get along harmoniously, they harbor a significant dissatisfaction with the bureaucracy and the political climate. They perceive widespread corruption within the country, although many won't openly admit it. Panamanians are yearning for better living conditions and expect their leaders to create them. I believe that corruption and its associated economic hardships persist in many South American nations. Venezuela, undoubtedly, serves as a prime example of this pervasive issue. Furthermore, if you plan on shopping at a local Panamanian store, never attempt to haggle. People from Slavic and Middle Eastern countries in particular are known for their inclination to bargain. But in Central American countries like Panama, the customs are different. However, given the often difficult living conditions, people insist on receiving full price for their goods, and they are entirely justified in doing so. Remember, a similar situation existed in Costa Rica. Certain goods are absurdly expensive. For instance, an item costing $2 in the United States might cost $25 in a Panamanian store. Retirees relocating to Panama from Canada or the United States spend an average of $2,000 per month, contributing significantly to the Panamanian economy. This influx of money boosts the national income of Panamanians. Panamanians, initially reserved, become quite trustworthy and friendly once you get to know them. A significant portion of Panama, especially in certain regions, is heavily forested. Since the 2000s, however, deforestation has accelerated, clearing land for mining operations. While this might seem like an investment in the country's infrastructure, it's transforming Panama's verdant landscapes into desolate piles of rock. These mining companies are often Canadian-based, leading to considerable discontent among Panamanian environmentalists who frequently criticize their government. These mines destroy green spaces, pollute water sources, and cause illness among the population due to the release of harmful chemical gases. On a different note, Panama faces a considerable immigration challenge.